I find myself getting a little emotional looking at all of this, and I don't want to cry on your show, but like it makes me like really upset because sorry, Elijah. Because it's like my home and it's just like so jacked right now.
There will be no removal of masks to consume alcohol outdoors. So you will no longer be able to remove your mask to drink a cocktail at a pop-up beer garden on a footpath as part of a pub crawl.
I try not to get angry because I want to yell and I want to swear a lot when I come into contact with Daniel Andrews is without question the worst freaking leader in the entirety of the of Australia, basically. And what's so remarkable, people need to be aware of this, is how closely aligned he is with the CCP. He has a very strong relationship to the Communist Party. Can we talk about the cops in Australia too for a second here? Because I've historically always been very pro-police. And I continue to be very pro-good police in the sense that, you know, if you're a good cop to me, I'm going to be a good citizen to you.
A good department too.
Yes,
if it's a good city and a good leadership, police could be a real good force for the right things.
I don't know if you have any videos of this like on hand, but Australian police are so revolting towards the citizens at present. Even yesterday, and I hope you'll let me read this. I got this message from a friend of mine who's a journalist in Australia. I'll read it for you real quick. And this blows my mind, but it's completely unsurprising to me. Out of nowhere, he says to me, police just came to my place and served me a public safety order. Get this, if I go within 5 kilometers, which is about 3 miles, of Victoria Park on Saturday, which is an area in, I believe he lives in Sydney at this point, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., I will be put in prison for 5 years. So this is a friend of mine saying that if he goes within 5 kilometers of this particular area, he can be imprisoned.
He's not like a pedo or something like that.
Nope, he's a journalist. And then he says, please, can you keep this quiet for now? You know, just because he obviously doesn't want to, you know, be messed up by it. And he said, but this is journalism in Australia in 2021, and then sent me a picture of the order. Now, for people who don't know, there's another journalist in Australia called Avi Yemeni, who's a good friend of mine, good friend of Elijah's too, great guy, works for Rebel News. He has been super abused by the police as well in Australia just for simply doing his job. Now, he has press credentials from, I believe, from the government actually to be covering protests and this, that, and the other during the pandemic, and yet they have attacked his staff, they've attacked his security guards, they've attacked him. These, just a journalist that I know is being told that he can't go within 5 kilometers of a particular area. Police officers in Australia, what in the living hell are you doing? Where is your allegiance to the citizenry that actually funds you?
Look at this. The New South Wales Police Force verified account. Police are aware of unauthorized protest activities planned for this weekend. Do not attend. They always have that. Do not. Public safety is our first priority, and you will be fined or arrested if you turn up. It is now illegal to protest the government.
Yes.
They've made it illegal to protest the government in Australia. So people think
and
that...
the cops are complicit. The cops are complicit.
Have you seen those interviews from the firemen talking about, like, dude, what happened? You guys were people... We've pulled people out of cars together. We've taken people off nooses, off trees, saved lives, people from jumping off bridges.
Yes.
And now you're working to imprison your own population. Talk about the Taliban. Like, liberating... you know, Middle Eastern countries, Doug, we're not liberated.
Nope.
We're enslaved to our governments.
Yes.
These people are in it together. And it's actually, it's worse than that.
So
you could take that off the screen for a second. It's not just that. I want to give a shout out to my other South Australian people. Listen to this. South Australian authorities can use any force necessary. This is the health order. This is how bad it's gotten there, guys. And this is why I've been warning you from the beginning of 2020 about masks and everything. That's not about your safety. South Australia has also broad powers under its major emergency declaration, which has recently been extended until September 19th and keep getting extended indefinitely.
Yes.
Authorized officers, this is what the police can do, can break into any land, building, structure, or vehicle using whatever force necessary. Whatever force, kill you if they need to. They can direct or prohibit the movement of people, animals, or vehicles. They can just stop you from walking out of your house. And they did that already.
Yes.
They have helicopters pushing this.
Yes.
You can put people in quarantine, like force them into camps, which they're building a $15 million facility to imprison their own citizens.
That's actually in Victoria. The one that they're building in Victoria, this quarantine facility, is actually very, very close to where my family lives.
And they're going to put people in there. Listen to this.
Yes.
They can order people to undergo medical exams, tests, or treatments. They can order you to get treatments. They can order you to get treatments, and you can compel people to give information, essentially interrogate and abuse people based off of what. This isn't about keeping you safe.
I find myself getting a little emotional looking at all of this, and I don't want to cry on your show, but like it makes me like really upset because sorry, Elijah. Because it's like my home and it's just like so jacked right now. And I hate it because my family's stuck there too. Sorry. It's like hard to be mad all the time when like you're just watching all this stuff go down and you know that there's nothing you can do. I'm sorry, dude.
Dude, I've had family members call me from there as well, on the brink of tears, explaining that, you know, I have a family member who's a service veteran, right? And he is just distraught because obviously we went from caring about our veterans' mental health and their safety to him. You know, one of the things that he just enjoys is riding his motorbike. He lives in the sticks, he lives in the bush, and they're telling him that it's illegal for him to ride his motorbike out in the woods. Well, it's illegal because he's a health threat as well, that he'll get fined, he get arrested for riding his motorbike. And that's like, what about our veterans having healthy outlets? And to hear someone in my family calling me saying that they're just heartbroken because their one outlet to keep them stable mentally is being robbed of them because they're a health threat for riding a motorbike in the woods. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I know. I mean, even I think about a lot of these people that are stuck in like rural Victoria or rural New South Wales or just rural Australia in general that are being subjected to these ridiculous orders where they can't, you know, go within, again, like 5 kilometers of their house. It's just absurd. My family live in the country and it's a similar thing. They've taken away, they've effectively pushed people. I'm sorry, this stuff just makes me so angry. They've pushed people to the point where they've taken away every single facet, every normal facet that these people could possibly have to stay sane. And I want to know why. What is the purpose of doing all of this to people? Because like you said, this is not about a virus anymore, because people need to remember in Australia, there have been fewer than 1,000 deaths. Fewer than 1,000 deaths. And people act like they're under siege from this horrible, horrible, horrible virus. Like we must walk around in masks and we must have our rights taken away because somehow it's justifiable. And the reality is that it's not.
A great philosopher once said that you can be 2 out of 3 things: liberal, smart, or honest. But you can't be all 3. At Slightly Offensive, we're smart and honest. And if you like this clip, head over to Slightly Offensive YouTube channel by clicking right here, where you can find new episodes of our show weekly. We're bringing you the topics, news stories, and angles that will have you saying, why the hell wasn't I subscribed sooner? Also, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to this channel too.